and we'll get started on today's chat, which is about building opportunity in Monze. And just some housekeeping. You can feel free to ask questions. These are usually very informal today. There's not a formal presentation, so it'll be really just a chat. So feel free to unmute and interrupt and pose your question, or if you prefer, you can just type it into the little chat window and I'll make sure it gets answered. These chats are being recorded, like I said. They'll go up on YouTube, so keep that in mind. And you can always contact me if you have any questions. I'm will@friendlywater.org. And I forgot to remove that bullet. We used to do these weekly, and now we're doing them monthly. Actually, it's probably good that we kept that on for one more month for folks who haven't seen that yet. So these are typically going to occur on the final Friday of each month. So today's the final Friday, and we'll have one on the final Friday of September. I'll be sending an invite out to that in a week or so. So who is Friendly Water for the World? If you don't know us, we are experts in village scale technologies, from water first, and also anything from cooking to brick making especially. You'll hear more about that today. We build knowledge and resilience with our communities. We activate community engagement. We, as always, embrace the dignity, strengths, and rights of all living beings, and we stand with the most vulnerable. Our speakers today, and today's just a day for technical difficulties. There should be a picture of Kurt and Eric here. Charles was going to speak with us, but he may be having also his own technical issues. He would be calling in from either Monze or Lusaka. Charles was going to do an introduction into our beginning about Monze, and so I'm going to ask Eric if he doesn't mind doing that. Today is all going to be about our project that's becoming a program in Monze. We're very excited about it. It's really expanding the work and how we do the work, and we hope it's going to really take both us and the community to great new places. So Eric, would you mind kind of doing an overview of Monze and then how the current projects are doing there?
Okay, thank you, Will. My name is Eric Lungaoli Jodi, the Programs Manager for Friendly Water for the World. I'm located in Kenya, specifically in the western region of Kenya.
Oh, Eric, sorry to interrupt you.
I've been with Friendly Water for the World. Yes?
I just noticed that Charles just joined us. So I might actually ask if he is able to give us a few of his thoughts before you start, if that's okay with you. Charles, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hey, Charles, can you hear me? Looks like Zoom is having all kinds of fun today with us. Charles was there and now he's gone. Okay, I'll go ahead and Eric, when you're finished, I'll ask him if he is able to give us a few words as well. So thanks, I appreciate that.
Thank you. I just said my name is Eric Lungaoli Jodi, the Programs Manager for Friendly Water for the World. I come from Kenya, specifically in a town which is the western part of Kenya. I've been with Friendly Water as long as water since its beginning up to date, and I've seen it evolve in most of its programs. Today we are looking at Monze and the activities that we are doing in Monze. I first came in contact with the city of Monze. As I can remember, this was in the month of May 2019, and I was in the company of Wayne Metrud and the director of Friendly Water for the World, Catantino, when we were actually visiting Monze, and at the same time we are visiting Zimatachela. Looking at Monze, to me, is that we had to the folks in Monze. They showed us very high levels of hospitality. And when you are in Monze, you feel that you are at home. Specifically for me, I say in Monze, when I'm in Monze, I feel that I'm at home, because in Monze, mostly you find they speak Tonka, and Tonka is Bantu, is almost similar to the vernacular that I speak in Kenya. So there are some words that are related because of the Bantu aspect in the language. When we got in Monze, we were actually trying to see whether we can come up with a project that can be running within the Zambia area. And today I'll be looking at the progress we made so far in Monze, because since the time we entered in Monze, we are actually counting our 6 months since we started our Friendly Water for the World operations in Monze. This is the 6 months since we entered into Zambia. And for this far that we've come, I would like specifically to give gratitude to Friends of Monze, specifically Diana and her team, and Zambia Women and Girls Foundation, under the able leadership of our friend and colleague, Giles Dinda, and his team. They have been very supportive in ensuring that at least we have something running in Monze. It should be noted that at Friendly Water for the World, we have actually 7 technologies that when we are going for any particular community, we intend actually to be taking these 7 technologies to any particular community. This is, we have the rainwater catchment, we have the microflush toilets, we have the perma-curtaining, we have the rocket stoves, we have the interlocking stabilized soil blocks, we have the biosand water filters, and lastly, we are doing friendly soap. But in Monze, we actually ended in Monze with 3 technologies, and the technologies that actually we took to Monze was rainwater catchment, the biosand water filters, which is the backbone of Friendly Water for the World, and also we did the interlocking bricks. We did this after carrying out a comprehensive and successful community survey in Monze. All the 3 technologies brought in 26 trainees from 4 different locations in Monze. And the locations that we received these trainings were actually from Siganda, Kaumba, Malimba, and Kampunu. Our program in Monze also led us to identifying our first coach in the name of Warren Hastings Mwenda, who serves as the link between Friendly Water for the World and the local teams that we've established in Monze. It's important to note that to date, we have constructed 4 rainwater catchments in Monze. The first 2 rainwater catchments were the motels that were as a result of the training, and the other 2 were done separately by the participants who actually attended the training that we had in Monze during the month of February this year. Apart from the rainwater catchments, we have had very great success in the use of interlocking blocks that we use for construction. Friends of Monze, in collaboration with the Zambia Women at Girls Foundation, with a lot of input from the Ministry of Education in Zambia, have to date constructed as 3 classrooms building using the interlocking bricks. The bricks were actually made by the Mongolo community under the guidance of our trained team. It's just important also to note that the community in Mongolo is in dire need of operational community school. Apart from the school we just constructed, we have information from our friends in Monze that there are plans of actually building 30 more schools within the Monze area. So this is a very important region for us as Friendly Water for the World. It has a lot of opportunity and potential for us actually to advance our activities within Zambia, specifically within Monze area, and expanding to other areas that are within Zambia. When we look at the biosand water filters, which I've said that is actually the backbone of Friendly Water for the World, because we are looking at sanitation and hygiene and actually making sure that the communities we are serving actually are accessible to safe and clean drinking water. We are currently working on fabrication and installing of our first filters in the first 30 homes that have been identified by Zambia Women at Girls Foundation in conjunction with the Department of Public Health Services in Monze. The specific village that we intend actually to do installation of the first filters is called Jinsira village, which is just on the outskirts of Monze town. Already fabrication of these particular filters is ongoing, and in a few weeks' time, we'll be doing the installation. And during the period that installation will be done, at the same time, the team that will be doing installation will be doing the epi surveys, so that we continue with the work that is in Monze. Lastly, I would like to bring to the team that is in this chat today that it's important to note that all the 3 technologies that we introduced in Monze are evolving out effectively for the benefit of the entire community. So as staff of Friendly Water for the World and all our key partners, we are actually working on a mutual understanding to make sure that we are advancing our work in Monze. If it's the issue of construction of the schools using the interlocking bricks, we are working in collaboration with the Zambia Women and Girls Foundation and Friends of Monze to make sure that this purpose is actually achieved. We are just making sure that if the filters are supposed to reach to the desired people within the community, we work as a team to make sure that we actually achieve this particular purpose. So it's important to note that we are seeing success from the work that we started in Monze in February this year. And it's our desire that we'll keep on going on to make sure that we reach a larger extent of the Monze region. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric, very much. That's great. And that's really fantastic progress. Charles, I was wondering if you can hear me now. See if, hello, how are you?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
Okay, how are you? But you can't see me. I'm seated in the dark.
That's right. We're all in the dark right now. We're having some video issues, so we're all in the dark. I was wondering if you would be able to tell us more about Monze itself what the town is like and people are like. And Eric did a nice job introducing it, but I'm sure you know it really well. So do you mind to speak a little about it?
Generally, Monze is about 200 kilometers from the capital city, Lusaka, to the south. And it is in the middle of a farming block. Southern province among the 10 provinces in Zambia is a maize belt. And the town itself is serving as a hub because there are 4 other districts that depend on Monze. So to the west we have Namwala, to the east we have Chivuna, then we have Gwem districts come to Monze for their daily businesses like shopping or things. So it's a very, very nice Zambia Women and Girls Foundation, located right in Monze town. And the location makes it easy for us to be able to reach out to the rural communities around us. So for now, our focus is Monze district. And from the start in 2012, when we started working with communities, we chose to work with rural communities and the poor in town. And this is the more reason why right now we are doing a project with Yes.
Go ahead, Charles. We can hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the more reason why for the program we have picked a community which is about 40 kilometers from Monze town to the east. This is a community which currently is depending on one borehole, and the water in that borehole is contaminated with fecal matter. But because the community has no alternative, they have no other source of water, they still use that water even when Ministry of Health is aware the water is contaminated. So the project for making the bio water sand filters has really come at the right time. Of course, we are late. We should have done this probably last year, because this community really, when we met them through our programs manager, they are looking forward to the water, to the biosand water filters, because that's the only way they are going to get clean water. And the school we are building at Mungolo, like Eric has said, this is a deep rural community which has never had a classroom or teachers' houses. So once we have completed constructing the school, which is almost done now, we are just remaining with plastering and painting. The children are going to learn in a classroom with walls for the first time. So we are quite excited as well. I think Friendly Water has come in at the right time with just the right technologies that our communities are craving for. I'm sure Friendly Water is going to work well with friends of Monze that have been supporting us from the time we started as an organization. And all the programs that Friendly Water introduced to us are already filling in the gaps that we could not do with sole funding from Friends of Monze. So we are happy with the partnership, and Friends of Monze, I'm sure Dina is listening. She's also equally happy with this trio partnership.
Thank you, Charles, for the children who have never had a classroom before. What does it mean to them? Are they excited? Are they curious? What does it mean to these kids?
Yes, the children are really excited, and I think you must have seen a few of the photos we've been sending to you. There are some kids that are standing around the new classroom block to the school to just meant all the on there. The community also are very, very excited, and they have put in their best in terms of labor. They are always around the school to see what they can do to help the contractor. Even communities around from other schools, the neighboring schools to Mungolo, they also come there. Teachers also come to just admire the kind of development which is taking place.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's great. So it gets word of mouth out into the area. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And if anybody has any questions, I'm sure Charles would be happy to answer and share his knowledge and expertise.
Thank you, Will. I'll try to step in on behalf of Kat, who has just dropped off from the chat. The way I said initially, we've been looking at our work in Monze and how we can expand our work in Monze. One thing that we've been doing is first to make sure that the teams that we train in Monze attain the required experience to enable them to advance the work that we are doing within Zambia area. And we still have a lot of work to do within Monze itself, because through our discussion with the Friends of Monze and Zambia Women and Girls Foundation, they have specifically indicated to us that they have a plan to construct the next 30 schools within Monze region. So you'll find that when it comes to the issue of the interlocking blocks with the construction of the 30 schools, it means that we have a great future for Monze, specifically when it comes to the construction of the schools. And when we are talking with Friends of Monze through Diana, we are not only looking at the construction of the schools only, because we wanted actually all the technologies that we introduced in Zambia, they should run concurrently. Because when you mention about having a school for the children, then you need also these children to have clean water. So the biosand water filters will advance with the construction of the new schools within Monze, and also the rainwater catchments. In fact, our future, we are looking at having a package, forming a package of the projects we are doing with Friends of Monze, so that if we are constructing a school using the interlocking bricks that we are doing in Monze, then after construction of the school, because there's a roof, well, we should look at actually coming up with also the rainwater catchment for these particular schools. And then after the rainwater catchment, it means that we have the water. And then we need also to go along with the biosand water filters. Once the teams that are in Monze have attained more experience in what we are doing, we have plans actually to go ahead to introduce even the other technologies that I said earlier that we are doing at Friendly Water for the World, because we are doing 7 technologies. And the first technologies we started within Monze actually 3. So it means that we have the other 4 technologies that we have actually to introduce in Monze also to advance our work in Zambia. And we're also looking at a future because, as I said, when we visited Zambia in May 2019 in the company of Wayne Metrut and Katandino, apart from Monze, we visited another rural village within Zambia, which is known as Simwatajela. And we are looking that as we advance our work within Zambia, our next point of entry into Zambia, we are looking at a possibility of having a program running within Simwatajela. And for this, our intent is that one, the people we trained within Monze have attained the rookie site experience, then we can take them out to Simwatajela so that if there are other teams to be trained within Simwatajela, we have the local partners. We don't have actually to move in with the trainers from the other countries. We want to use the locally available trainers so that we can reduce on the cost involved of actually taking trainers to another country. In this case, we are looking at actually using the trainers that are within Monze to advance our work within Simwatajela. And this is the way forward we are looking at it, that in the near future, we'll be advancing our work to Simwatajela. But currently, there are a lot of prospects just within Monze itself. We want to have Monze as a hub to advance our work within Monze, to make sure that we have established our roots within Monze before actually moving to another place within Zambia.
Thanks, Eric. And I think that what you said at the end there is key, and that's the conversation and really the progress we are making towards revisioning and reestablishing ourselves in the center of communities. So we've historically worked with many communities in many countries, over 15 countries. And for some of those, we've been able to develop some long-term relationships, but even those relationships are us kind of being there and not being there, and being there and not being there. And you have to catch up, and the communities change, and people move around, and it makes it more difficult to acquire data and to help move projects along and move skills along and have additional training. So for Monze, we are looking really to expand the work we're doing there by having a much longer time frame, a much longer view of what we're trying to accomplish with the community. And that's driven both by our experience, but also by the opportunity that's there in the community, and the conversations and the engagement we've had, especially Eric and Wayne and Kurt have had with the community, with the Zambia Women and Girls Foundation, the community-based organization, and with Friends of Monze, which has kind of led us to begin to spec out what a program there may look like at a much, much larger scale than what we've been able to accomplish in the past. And when you build a longer presence in these locations, you can, a couple things happen, we hope. One of them is you start to build knowledge and awareness of kind of the work we're doing and our presence there, and hope that that momentum carries forward both in the projects and with the word of mouth in the area. And so I think there's especially an opportunity to work extensively with Warren as our first new coach, and really help grow that role, as well as his ability to help move the technologies forward and move the outputs forward inside that community. And as Eric mentioned, that gives us a chance to expand out from inside of Monze to outside of Monze. And several of the school that is going up in Mongolia right now is outside of Monze. It's within a drivable distance to Monze, but us having a presence within Monze is going to help us touch some of these other mini communities. Eric mentioned there are 30 schools that the local education board there is hoping that will be built. And so enable us to expand out and connect with those schools, hopefully. And as we learn how to kind of build this center in Monze, we're noticing there's also potentially an opportunity to do the same thing in Kakamega, which is where Eric is located. And a number of projects or potential projects have started to appear in that greater area there. And so it's another chance for us to kind of expand on this idea of having a more measurable, a deeper impact in the communities with whom we're partnering. So that's a really key part of the program moving forward, building these long-term relationships and being able to see a long-term impact and a long-term recording of data, so that we know what we're doing right, we know what we're doing wrong, we find opportunities to improve, we see what technologies are working and how they're working, and how they work over time, which is really important, because it's the longevity and the consistency of using these technologies that really makes a difference. So it's really exciting work that we're undertaking both in Monze and hopefully soon in Kakamega. I wanted to go through, does anybody else have any questions? I wanted to go through the little chat window here and see if I've touched off, we've been able to touch on all of the questions that have been asked so far. Clemence, you asked about Eric traveling to Monze. So
yes, David answered the question.
Great, okay. And it looks, okay, it looks like all the questions I think have been answered that are in the chat window. Does anybody have additional questions?
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to respond to one of the questions where someone is asking, like, who is spreading the work to rural areas here in Monze? Like I said, our office is located in Monze town, but then we are in touch with rural communities, and all the projects we have done so far, we engage government departments from the start. For example, when we started construction of schools, we first engaged Ministry of Education, and we are working hand in hand with the district office in Monze, which is representing Ministry of Education. Right now, when we learned about interlocking bricks, the first thing we did after training was to sit with Ministry of Education to show them the new technology, and they quickly discussed within the ministry, and we got a response within a week that Ministry of Education actually prefers buildings using interlocking bricks because the walls are thicker, and because of the nature the interlocking bricks are, they don't usually develop cracks. So immediately, Ministry of Education gave us a go-ahead to start using interlocking bricks. Then when we had a discussion again with Friendly Water about the filters, again, we engaged Ministry of Health, and they guided us and provided 2 communities which would really need the filters. So we quickly did a quick survey and finally settled on this one community which we are working with now. So we always make sure that we engage key stakeholders. And once we are out there in a rural area, traditional leaders are there, and there are also government ministries within these communities is represented by. So work become a bit easy, and this because all the key stakeholders are involved from the start. I thought I should share on that as well.
Yes, I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key point, is that this is not something we're doing alone. We're focused on building partnerships with as many organizations as possible. And you know, there's strength in numbers. And I think that's a great point. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, we're going to finish a few minutes early. This almost never happens, so I wanted to thank everyone for attending. And actually, because we're a couple minutes early, David, would you like to say any words just at the end here?
Thank you, Kurt, and thank you, Charles and Eric. The work in Monze is very, very exciting. I'm glad to see us reaching out to further rural communities. It was sort of interesting when we started work with Friends of Monze, which is a Quaker project out of Wales. And that's actually how I met up with them immediately. And the original funder for this project was a Quaker from Albuquerque, New Mexico. But we were very, very happy to start our work with Zambia Women and Girls Foundation. And no sooner did we start our work there than all of a sudden we even discovered a Quaker-related orphanage and school about 40 kilometers to the north of Monze. We're also very much in touch with our friends in Simwatachella. They're waiting for us with bated breath, but they understand that we first of all want to ensure the success of the Monze project too, and then in the spirit of what we are trying to do, each community teaches another community. That we don't, you know, if we can help it, we don't have, other than Eric, you can go anywhere. We don't have to bring people from the outside of the country, but we can build a string of communities that are realizing Water First Resilience and Community Development Through Water. This is something, you know, we've had our trials and errors over time, but from the very inception of Friendly Water for the World, this is where we've wanted to be headed. So thank you so much, Eric and Charles, for the wonderful work.
Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your sunny, hopefully sunny August day to get on with us. And we'll be having another chat on the final Friday of September. Look for that invitation. And if you'd like to catch up on any of the previous ones, please go to friendlywater.org/events, and you'll get links to all of our previous chats, and you can watch them at your leisure. So thanks everyone, and have a great day.
Okay, bye.